This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
If you had a tampon, I mean, you're having to bury this thing or whatever.
Right.
I mean, this is just a better choice.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah, you can. I mean, you pack it in, pack it out. That's the idea with, one single use.
Probably not bury it. I'm sorry.
No, you can
Am
bury
I being shamed?
No.
There's no
shame here. There's no shame zone.
Tampon shaming.
Let's not even start that.
Welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humour, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the ZuLoo Poodcast. We've got it's a special day today, or week, or I don't know what date this is coming out specifically, but it is a special episode because it's International Women's Day. And wow, it feels like a blink of an eye and a year went by, and we had Cody Sanders and Ellie Peak on the podcast, and now I'm, dare I say, more excited for this episode because we have Shannon Mangum, wife to Darren, and Suzanne Godfrey back on the podcast.
Yes, happy to be here.
Thank you.
We coordinated a little bit, and
we didn't try.
It
was our female hormones coming together.
That's right.
Saying we're going to be talking international women. We're going to wear our international pink.
That's right.
For us girls.
Bonding with the female power.
Yeah.
That's right.
I have to say, 3 blondes behind the mic just feels empowering.
We didn't plan that either.
We didn't plan that either. So like you would have imagined, we'd all go to the salon together, have a little fun day.
That does sound good.
That does sound good. We should plan that sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So thank you both for being here. I don't know if it was pulling teeth or not, but we're just stoked to.
No, I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
See a big part of Darren's world.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is like the other side of Darren's universe. You're the first and foremost side. And this is the other side, the other lover. Yes. This is it.
Shannon poop, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I prefer to see it as Shannon helping the world.
Right.
Okay,
there we go.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
It's an unglamorous topic, but we wear pink to make it more glamorous.
That's right.
So your birthday is close to World Toilet Day.
Yes, my birthday is it on World Toilet Day?
3 days apart.
Okay.
Darren's saying if this
3
can't
days
be,
after.
Yeah, caught up from the camera. If this can't be caught in our audio, Darren's behind the screen here saying Shannon's birthday is 3 days before the World Toilet Day.
Right.
International Toilet Day.
If it's Shannon's birthday, you need to be catching a plane to the World Toilet somewhere.
Right, exactly.
I think that's going to happen for the rest of my life. Yes.
Unfortunately so.
Or fortunately me.
It depends on where the toilet summit's at. Right. This year it's in Tokyo. So
she's on board.
Yes, I'm totally coming. And I want to go to Tokyo by way of South Korea. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
While you're over there, just make the whole trip.
Yes.
I mean, both of you have already been to Taiwan. You've already both been to parts of China. Am I right? You've visited.
We've been to Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong a couple times.
Yeah.
And we have been to Korea.
And Tokyo.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners, before jumping to Poo News, tell our listeners how you two are connected.
Well, it goes back to high school days. We met through a mutual friend, and then we ended up teaching English together in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. That was when
we were over there a year. Mm-hmm. Suzanne did a little modeling. I worked at a hair salon.
Yep.
A Japanese hair salon. And we were there about a year.
Yeah. We had a great time.
Every 3 months we had to leave in order to renew our visas.
Okay.
And so
we just had to go to Tokyo.
We had to go to Hong Kong. We had to go to, Manila, the Philippines. We had to, and I mean, it was just 2 of us. We were 18 or 19.
Yeah, we were.
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
We were like 20 actually. But
we were?
Yeah.
Okay.
When we look back, we're
That's
like,
right.
how did we survive that? Like, we did some crazy
I know.
things. And we're like, how did our parents let us go? Like, we were 20 years old,
Yeah.
we bopping
Well,
around
you know
in
what?
Hong Kong.
I'm telling you, because there was no internet, there was
Right.
no Instagram. They weren't seeing anything that we were doing.
Right.
They were just getting the snail mail that
Right.
happened once a month. So
Right.
they just had to put their faith and trust in that it was all okay.
Right.
I mean, truly, like ZuLoo's all over the world. And I think about sometimes going to some of the countries that ZuLoo might be in. And I think I'm nervous to travel even with my secured team in these locations that I know we're going to be okay in.
Right.
And I think, oh, yeah, you too.
I mean,
Years ago traveling when you were so young.
The word is naivete.
Yes. That is the word.
I mean, when we were in Taiwan, we'd go swimming every morning, and we met this gentleman, and he said, we told him we weren't going to be there to go swimming the next week, and he said, "Oh, where are you going?" "We're going to
Manila."
And he's like,
what?
Wow. He's like, "So do you have it all planned out? Do you have?" And we're like, "No, we're just going to show up." And he's like, "No, I don't feel good about that." He said, "I know a man over there that owes me a favor. And so I'll call in the favor." And so we get to the airport. There's somebody holding up a sign with our names on it. We get in this car. We don't know who this is, you know?
Oh, wow.
They give us, like, remember the Beverly Hillbillies, the roll of cash.
Right.
They take us like on all these fun adventures. And I mean,
you could have been trafficked.
we could have been
taken, right?
Totally taken.
Right. Yeah. The man that we swam with, that's the thing, is he's like, "You guys are going to Manila?" He's like, "Do you know what's going on there?" You know, because it's not really
the U.S. Embassy had just been bombed the week before.
Oh my God.
So probably not the apropos time.
Right.
To be Americans in Manila.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? We were so fortunate, and we had an amazing time and met amazing people. And it really transformed our lives. I mean, it did.
We ended up going to this little island called Boracay. And I mean, we
cried when we had to leave. Do you remember? It was such paradise. You were like, no.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Don't take me back to Cache Valley. I have to Boracay.
Our sink was a seashell.
Mm-hmm.
What about the toilet? I mean, it was a nice working toilet.
They were like French bungalows, and there was no like wires. Remember, everything
there was
a generator.
No electricity.
So there was just a generator, and it was just stunning. And
we had the nets over our beds.
Yeah,
the snorkeling. I've never been snorkeling ever. It's never topped that experience. Remember how amazing the snorkeling was?
Yeah,
I want to go there.
Yeah, so that was like 30 something years ago.
Yeah.
Well, so
don't give away our age.
Okay, sorry.
Well, so then can I ask an intimate question about your travels?
Absolutely.
This was presumably the first time either of you had traveled internationally, especially to parts of Asia. Is that's safe
correct.
to presume?
Yeah, correct.
So what was the toilet experience like? Like, what do you each recall thinking when you got there?
Well, I remember the squatty.
Yeah, I had heard about the squatters, but I remember walking in going, "Whoa, okay, this is." I mean, I'm pretty limber.
Yeah,
so I'm like, I'm confident that I can get down and get back up. I mean, if that would be the problem, if you could get down, but not get back up.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so but I didn't see those very much. I think they're more common in mainland China.
Yeah.
Taiwan is
pretty advanced, pretty modern.
So I don't remember anything being too like out of the ordinary about the toilets, but I do remember seeing the squatty ones once in a while. But,
And so in your housing facilities, they were flush and plumb toilets.
But what I did notice was all the ladies that were standing in line to use the squatters, they would roll up their pants. And I was like, I wonder why everybody's doing that.
Right.
And it was like, because when you're dropping your pants, you don't want them to touch the ground.
Soiled.
Right.
And so, I mean, I was like, okay, I guess there's some reasoning behind this. I'm going to do this. I'm rolling up my pants, standing in line.
Watch and learn.
Yep. Paying for my 2 squares of toilet paper,
Right.
I'm like,
Oh, we got us too.
All you got is, and you had to pay for it.
you had to pay for
By
it.
square.
By square. Yeah.
Could you buy more, or was it two
No, you could
per
buy
person?
more.
Okay.
Depending on how much money was in your pocket.
Yeah,
Right.
much
And
you
how
needed with
badly
that.
you needed to go.
Right.
Well, a few weeks ago, we got to talk to Lonnie Ward, and he told a funny story about being in Bolivia and just seeing these beautiful outhouses. They were flush and plumbed,
Mm-hmm.
just like we would see here. And he walked into one because they'd been locked up. And he said, well, why are these locked up? And people had been, oh no, you know what? I'm getting this wrong. Let me rewind. He was in Peru.
Okay.
Mhm.
Lonnie was in Peru, and they were teaching a school full of children. He said, hey, I need to use the restroom. So they went and showed him where it was. And he opened the door, and it was a squatty potty.
Okay.
Totally fine facility, except for that he looked around and he was seeing little piles of
Oh.
poop everywhere. And
Oh.
he said, what is this? Like,
What's
I don't
going
understand
on?
what's
Why?
going on.
Uh-huh.
But it was because the hole in the ground was large enough that a child, they were kindergartners or so,
Oh.
5 or 6 year old,
They would
Wow.
fall
they would fall in. And so, or they were afraid to fall in. And so
Scary, right.
instead of squatting
Mm-hmm.
and taking the risk of falling in, they would squat in corners. And I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just, we don't, I think we
Yeah.
take our nice toilet seats
Mhm.
for granted here, even though it's squatting is debatably better for your colon. Yeah.
It does do something.
It does do something.
It must release or I don't know.
It's got
It's
really.
just-
I mean, that's
yeah.
why we've got squatty potties, right? Cute little stool for our
Yes.
toilets.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just bring the ground up to us rather
Yes.
than lowering
Yeah.
ourselves to the ground.
Exactly. I'm thankful for my squatty potties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It does make a world of difference. So, listeners, if you don't yet have a squatty potty, a potty stool of some kind,
Mhm.
this
I am
is our plug.
I've used one for so long that when we travel and we're in hotels,
Yeah,
I will take the wastebasket and turn it upside down
smart.
and put my feet on top of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little too high and sometimes it doesn't balance just right. And you're like, whoa.
Wait.
I'm like, I'm okay. Metal
I got
can,
it in
just
here.
yeah.
That wasn't me falling off the
Yeah,
toilet.
Yeah. What's going on
It
in there?
does
It's all
definitely help you
good.
go.
Yeah.
You definitely do go better,
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
It unkinks the sphincter. It has something to do with that.
There
It's
we
got
go.
Maybe not the sphincter, but the colon, the drop down.
Yeah.
Is that, is that
That's
a sentence you
Okay.
thought you would say on
I know my husband is just so
Right.
proud of me right now.
Yeah, he just
It
walked out of the
unkinks
room.
the
So
sphincter. Love it. International
Well,
Women's Day. Here
International
we
Women's
go.
Day.
We're
Here
going
we
to talk
go.
about
We're
it all.
into it. So, okay, to piggyback though off the toilet question, I'm
Mhm.
curious to know what habits you observed or maybe even spoke about. And this is maybe not necessarily exclusive to your Taiwan travels, but as you've been around the world doing different projects now, just vacationing, like
Mhm.
how have you seen periods managed around the world? Has that in your travels been different? What's that been like?
I haven't, for me personally,
Yeah,
like when I
haven't
was
noticed.
when I was in Asia, I was really the first time I went. So the first time I went, I wasn't with Suzanne, but I did go to Taiwan, and I had no idea if they used tampons
Yeah.
or they only used pads. I wasn't sure. So I knew I was going for summer, so I took enough to last for the whole summer.
Whole suitcase.
Yes, yeah, and it was.
And that got you through.
Yeah,
You didn't have any emergencies where you had to
actually
ask.
came home with
Really?
extra supplies. I was like, I think I overcompensated.
Did you
So-
help the sisters out who ran out, the ladies that were in your apartment? Or did you just let them fend for themselves?
No. My dear friend Stacy, who does like and subscribe, she tells
Hey,
me.
Stacy. Shout out to Stacy.
That's right. She's awesome. No, we totally helped each other out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. Sisterhood.
What about for you, Suzanne?
You
Either
know-
in Taiwan or your other world travels?
Yeah, I mean, because I've had the opportunity to live in, Scandinavia and travel different places. But, I actually haven't really encountered that much or observed it. But now being involved with this, I have a whole different perspective, just learning about how women in third world countries, really struggle with that and what they have to do in order to get, something to, a tampon or a pad or whatever. And it's actually really horrific what they face.
Yeah, it is.
So it's been very eye-opening. Yeah.
I don't want to say good, but I want to say good because one more soul, eyes opened. It is so sad to see the struggles, the additional hardship that women and girls are put through and the lack of resources that there are.
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to drop into our poo news.
Okay.
Because it's actually it's a problem that maybe is forthcoming for adolescents, particularly who have just started menstruating and who enjoy the outdoors. I thought it was an interesting read. And it's a quick read. I'm really interested in female empowerment. So I love, especially stories of young girls seeing a problem, innovating, finding a solution, especially when that's surrounding gender equality or women's issues. It's just so inspiring. So I was on my Instagram the other day, just tapping through BBC, and this headline came up: the period kit designed for toilet-free environments. And here on the Poodcast, we've talked a lot about menstrual cups. Familiar how menstrual cups,
I've
what
never
they
used
are,
one, but I am familiar with them.
Okay, you know what they are. Yeah,
Yep.
they're still relatively new, that there's still a lot of education out there, so I'm glad I asked. So the idea is, okay, menstrual cups, great, right? We can use them. They can reduce environmental impact because we're not using so much cotton. We're not having to produce a lot of cotton or synthetic fibers for tampons and pads. Economically, they're more friendly because you're not having to buy.
Right.
But the caveat is they're messy to use. So when you're outdoors, how does that?
Didn't she say? What did she say when she was here?
Yeah, we had our good friends at Pixie Cup on, and she talked a little bit about how it was not a problem for her. She just, I don't know, dealt with it how she dealt with it. But
I liked your
me,
shower story a little. I was like, okay, that I can more picture, like just being in the shower.
Yeah, well, it's cleaner, right?
Yeah.
It's you can remove, dump, clean, insert again. But when you're out in the wilderness, you don't have access to a shower. It's like, how do you do that and not have to carry out tons of wet wipes? Right? Like use those, carry those, or lots of toilet paper. It just seems arduous. So this girl thought of a solution to that, which I just
amazing.
So I wanted to tell everybody about that. So I'm going to just kind of skim our article here. It says a woman has developed a portable period kit designed to be used outdoors when there's no access to toilets or hand washing facilities. Erin Reed, 25, came up with the concept when she took a 96-mile West Highland Way near Glasgow backpacking trip.
Okay.
Amazing.
That's a long, that's a long
backpacking trip, 96 miles.
Wow.
So she wants to launch the product, and she says that it's aimed primarily at hikers, kayakers, and military personnel. So it's a flask-style design. Let me show you a little bit what it looks like, and I'll post this also for our viewers. So it's just in like a little, kind of looks like your Stanley Cup.
Okay.
Like it's like a little capsule flask. So it contains your menstrual cup and then antibacterial wipes sealed in adventure-proof casting. So something that, if you can get wet, you can submerge it. It's portable, so you can take it with you. It's not like you have to shove something into a baggie and hope it stays dry.
Right.
So it also contains... So it contains menstrual cup and antibacterial wipes, and then that allows the cup to be cleaned on the go. And it has an applicator that can be used without the need of clean hands.
Okay.
I don't know what that looks like. They haven't pictured that, and maybe perhaps that's still in development. But she obviously has one to use one because she's used it and it works.
And it works.
But how neat to know that I don't have to
Yeah.
My hands are already dirty from backpacking. Like, it doesn't matter
and
how,
then to
you know.
I mean, if you had a tampon, I mean, you're having to bury this thing or whatever.
Right,
I mean, this is just a better choice.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you can, I mean, you
Better
pack it in,
option.
pack it out. That's the idea with, one single use.
Probably not bury it. I'm sorry.
No, you can
Am I
bury it.
being shamed?
No.
No.
There's no
You're
shame
not being
here.
shamed.
There's no shame zone.
Tampon shaming.
Let's not even start that. Let's not even put that out in the universe.
No, I think the Boy Scouts of America still teach Boy Scouts to bury toilet paper. So
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We have to fact check that with Darren, Master Scout. He'll know. But I'm fairly sure. So it makes sense that, we would teach Girl Scouts
I mean,
to.
it would break down pretty fast.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially if it's cotton.
Right.
May not want to bury a pad with
Right.
like a synthetic fiber in it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I just thought that was awesome. So she says, I'm aiming to reduce the hassle and give people more confidence to get outdoors while they're on their period, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Because we think about, all the sanitary issues that can happen when you're managing a period and you're trying to keep things clean. And wow, if you want to enjoy the outdoors, that's a primary component to your
Mhm.
identity. And here you are, a woman, there's like very little you can do about
Right.
not menstruating.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen no matter what,
Yeah.
right? So awesome for Erin. I'm so proud of her.
That is really cool.
She might not hear this episode, but Erin, if you do,
Mhm.
Kudos
thanks.
to you.
Kudos to you
Right.
for
Yeah.
thinking I'm going to develop some little, not just like a little kit, but some little forceps or some little
Yes,
tool.
I'm like,
to
I
help
want to
me.
see this applicator.
I want to
I
see the
know.
applicator too.
We're going to all go home and order one now. And
Yes.
then give it to our daughters and
Yes.
people that are hikers. And,
Say, go
Yeah,
use
it's very
this. Tell me
cool.
how it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought she's awesome that way.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I get these thoughts. I didn't think about that.
right?
I want to think about that.
Why did I come up with
Yeah.
that idea?
Your idea is yet to come.
My idea is yet to come.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming soon.
Yeah, I may have not, come up with the menstrual cup, but perhaps I can think of,
For sure.
something like Erin. Erin, you're inspiring to me. And
Absolutely.
love that. Love that we can continue to do the things that matter to us and get over those obstacles. And that's what ZuLoo's about, right?
Mhm.
Helping people break down barriers and continue to thrive.
Yeah, and have
Right.
dignity
Have
in their daily
dignity.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's huge.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it. Well,
Mm.
let's talk about International Women's Day.
Okay.
I think in preparation for this episode, the question I wanted to ask first and foremost is, what do you enjoy about being a woman?
Do you want to
Yeah.
take it away, Shannon?
Have we ever
Well-
thought about that before?
To me, it encompasses a lot of things, but to me, it is my children. Having my children and watching them grow and having them over for Sunday dinners. And this morning I was playing tennis, and the lady I was playing with, she brought her daughter to play with her, and her husband was on the next court. And when she walked in with her daughter and her husband saw them, it was just like this happiness. And I was like, that's how I feel when I see my kids. I thought, I love it when I watch my kids walk up the steps to our home. And so to me, it's a big part of that is being a mother being a woman is being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have more to say about that, but Suzanne, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I think I think it's wonderful to be feminine. It's a beautiful thing to be female, and just different ways that we can be creative. And I just love that as women, we just have a nurturing heart, and that we, it's just kind of this natural instinct that we have, and it does encompass, being a mother, but there's so many women that don't have that opportunity in their lives, but they can. I've seen so many women that just love and share in such a amazing way, like through becoming teachers or nurses or, different ways. And I just celebrate being a woman. And I think that it's something that, is something that should be celebrated. And, this special day is something that I haven't really been aware of for a long time, but the last couple of years I've been more aware of it, and I've had an opportunity where I've been a teacher, and so it's been fun to incorporate that with some of my students, and it's also my mom's birthday, so it's a cool thing. So I always remember it for that reason too.
That's cool.
March 8th. Yeah.
As you were speaking, Suzanne, I was thinking when you mentioned your mom, the strong women in my life. I mean, my mother is just such a hard worker and has been a great role model for me, and taking care of her family, working outside of the home, in the home, working at a garden, taking care of her parents. I mean, just it's endless. And she is everything to me that a woman is.
Yeah.
Which is so
well,
great.
that was the question that came to mind is who are the women in your lives that have inspired you? I'd love to know, and for our listeners to think and take a second to think about who those women are, because no rap on men, but they get enough time in the spotlight. We unfortunately still live in a very male-centric world. And I think the thing I love about being a woman is that we are coming into a place really standing on the shoulders of giants of our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers who have weathered so much oppression, so many barriers to having their voices heard, to being able to fulfill these destinies of empowerment and of who they are and the things that they care about. And now, we live in the 21st century and get to have all these difficult but amazing conversations about gender equality and overcoming stereotypes and things like that. And finally stepping into a place of power and strength alongside men. I have a daughter. I love that I'm going to be able to teach her one day, hopefully by modeling, right? Like, our voices matter. Our impact is just as strong as men's, and like take our place, right? And let's and stand together. I don't know. Like, I know this all sounds very like, ooh, hi, I'm a woman.
I love
that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I feel so thankful for that opportunity personally. I feel so thankful for the privileges that I have to have a platform where I can help empower women, especially in sanitation and wash, which is like this epicenter of allowing them to grow and succeed and realize all the potential within themselves. It's just truly a beautiful thing. So I'd like us to answer that question though. Like, who are the women in your lives as you look back on the last couple of International Women's Day since it's been founded that have impacted you, and how have they impacted you?
I'd have to say that, there's a lot of women that we can look at, in today's culture and historically. I think of just different, Madeleine Albright and, just different political leaders, that have been just amazing. I think personally in my own life, again, my mother, I have aunts that have been really amazing and really inspiring to me, and just other women that I've known personally. There's particular teachers that I've had too that I remember just being in elementary school and just really looking up to like the 6th grade teacher. And to me, she just was like, she just embodied everything because she was smart, and she was beautiful, and she was, energetic. And then she also had this hot air balloon, like business that she had on the side.
What? That's rad.
Yeah. And I just remember like thinking like, that's who, that's somebody that I want to grow up to be like. And it's kind of interesting because I don't think we really understand the impact that we have, in just being a woman. And there's so many ways that we do influence each other in small and simple ways that turn out to be great ways. And in my life, I've just been so grateful for amazing friends that have just like been there for me and been inspiring. And I think it's amazing to tap into the intuition that we have because we tend to just kind of know when we need to reach out to someone.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see that, that women do that.
Yeah. I think that's a gift. You were talking a little earlier about, just natural gifts. And I think that women are inclined to that sensitivity to others and to their needs and to their desires and that draw, right? It's almost like this physical draw to help and to serve and change and help and just cultivate growth.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess that's the definition of nurturing. And I think that, is a for sure core characteristic of women that we share. And, we do these international trips and we meet women from all over the world. And that's the common thread that typically bonds us very quickly is how do you care for your children? How can you improve your children's life? How do you care for the women around you?
And women are always listening because we want to take these characteristics, take something that's changed somebody's family's life, made it better. Oh, I want to apply that to my family.
Yeah, absolutely. Always looking for growth.
Right.
Always looking for what's the better solution here?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe to make a little quip, right? Like we are also maximizers. How can I clean my house a little bit faster, a little bit better?
Yeah.
How can I get more shopping done today? No, I tease. What about for you, Shannon?
So Darren and I, we live half the year in Puerto Rico. And when I first got to Puerto Rico, it was very important to me that I lived by somewhere that I could play tennis. And the first day that I went to play tennis at this tennis facility, I met this really amazing lady. Her name is Jennifer Bates. And she's from Martha's Vineyard, but she's been living in Puerto Rico for 30 years.
Wow.
And when
that's quite the change.
Right.
It's quite the change from Martha's Vineyard to Puerto Rico.
She goes back and forth, but she has changed Puerto Rico. And when she got there, she realized that Puerto Rico has a very unique tax code, and it's unlike anything else in the world. It has its own tax code. And when it's time I hope I'm doing this right, Jennifer, saying this right. So like in the US, we have programs to help us do our taxes, like TurboTax, So Puerto Rico didn't have anything like that.
Wow.
So she created what? She did the coding, the software for Puerto Rico. And now it's the most commonly used software to do your taxes in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
And I mean, she's got this big office building and it's all her. She's amazing.
She saw a need.
And she fulfilled it. She just being around her, she's just positivity. She's captained, tennis teams and everything is like spreadsheet and it's so awesome,
She's so organized.
Super organized. If I'm going to go play somewhere where she's playing at the same time, she always reaches out to me. Can I give you a ride? She's given me so many rides, and I have a car, but it's just nice to go together and talk.
Yeah.
And
it's that sense of community that we nurture, right?
Yes.
Women are centers of community.
And she did that when I was there. When I first got there, she was like, let me tell you a little bit about the women here and how things happen. And let me just give you some little pointers and tips. And it was really useful. I'd be like, Jennifer, I need to trim. Where do I go to get cut? Get my hair cut?
Yeah. She's like, I need to register.
I need to register my car. Where do I go? This is what you got to do. And don't go here, go there, and da. And just, she's just been great. She's been a great friend, and her mom is in her 90s, and so she's back and forth in Martha's Vineyard helping with her mom, who's like a rock star, just like her daughter. And then Jennifer comes, and when she comes back to Puerto Rico, she's a great presence there, and she's, continuing her business, and she's amazing. She's inspired me. It's like one woman has changed that island.
Yeah.
It's about 3 million people.
Yeah.
And she has had an impact.
Well, that's the word that's going through my head right now is impact, right? Women make an impact and a lasting impact. And it's more than our families. It's more than a community. It really can be global. One person that we love and adore and borderline worship here at ZuLoo is Mira, who is our partner with Sapid in India. She has just done so much. And I think about the women that have inspired me, and there's so many, but we're here talking about impact, and I'm here thinking about ZuLoo impact. And Mira is one of those humble individuals who would never want to be in a spotlight. She's graciously been on our podcast a couple of times, right? Because we're like, Mira, we beg her. And she's like, fine, but don't mention that I've run the Mother Teresa words a million times. Just kidding. She would never even say that. She just doesn't want to acknowledge it. And I say that not to say that we shouldn't toot our own horns, but just to emphasize the fact that she has had high impact. And she's had a high impact for so many people in the community in Hyderabad and in other neighboring slums in her area of India. I did want to read an impact story that we recently got back from Mira. Can we do that? Are we game to do that?
Yes,
okay,
please.
Kamala is a mother of a daughter and 2 sons, residing in the Ilaya colony of Hyderabad, India. She works as a daily wage labor with an earning of about $37 per month. Kamala explains, because we had no toilet, the place where we went to relieve ourselves before is about 1 kilometer from here. It was threatening and dirty. It was frightening too. So most of the time we went with friends. There are men who are not really nice. When they see lonely women there, they try to abuse, eve tease, or rape. Even if we cry out loudly, there is no one to help. So we prefer to go during dawn or dusk, that too in a group. I know there were bad incidents that already happened. I don't want my daughter to go to that place because I'm afraid of her being abused or raped. We have dug a hole in our premises for an emergency so that they do not have to go out at night or during an emergency, which has led to many arguments with our neighbors who were all like a family, but not now. Kamala with gratitude says, the major change in my life since I have the toilet here is now I'm free from fear and pressures. She says the time spent accompanying her daughter is now wisely spent on household chores. She now maintains good relations with the neighbors. She says, now we are a family again. With broad smiles on their faces, they say, thank you, ZuLoo.
Wow. It's just...
So it was a kilometer away?
Yeah, the place where they could go is a kilometer away, which is a long way to walk because you don't have a car. You might have a cart.
And can you imagine like having to gauge like when you go?
I can't imagine
they try to
that.
just go, at those certain time frames.
Yeah.
And then to know that like you're at risk of getting raped. I mean, this is just like, I can't even wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's a reality so far from what we're familiar with, right? I mean, and particularly here in Utah, it's a pretty safe place unless you're out clubbing in the middle of the night. You don't, and you're like, I need to use a restroom somewhere in a public club. Like that worry of being sexually abused is not so prevalent.
No.
And to have to worry about your daughter, to have to worry about the daughters in your community.
Right.
It's just a huge and heavy mental load.
Yeah. And also how like they dug the hole, but then that caused problems with their neighbors, so then that causes another intensity because your neighbors are upset with you,
Yeah. And you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were in Peru last May and I was witnessing ZuLoo firsthand, it was really touching. So we were, we took a car or like a Jeep and we drove with some locals and it was all dirt roads and dusty. And we drove for about an hour and we came to the edge of this small lake, and there were just these small little residences that, I mean, were just small. I don't want to be degrading to them at all, but I mean, it was kind of like little shacks, you know?
Yeah.
And the mayor was with Darren, and he was the owners of these family, the family, like the father came out of one of the homes, and it was all in Spanish. And so I was just kind of standing there, but then we had a translator that would translate for Darren. And it was so touching because this dad was saying, to the mayor, you have been promising us that we were going to have plumbing for years. And he's like, my little girl has to, and I mean, just right, they're on the edge of like the woods, you know? And he's
it's
like,
no man's land out there.
Right. He's like, my daughters have to go out in the middle of the night, you know, if they have to use the bathroom outside and there's animals and it's dangerous. And he's, I mean, and he was so dirty and he was just like speaking for his daughters. And he's like, when is this going to happen? You keep saying that the plumbing's going to happen. When is it going to happen? And then Darren is there for ZuLoo, and he's like, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna make this happen. And I was just so touched to watch it in first person, you know,
right? To see this father's passion of
concern for his family, his girls.
Yeah.
So,
well, absolutely. And, you know, I can imagine his frustration seeing his little girls and having time tick away year by year, knowing, okay, this isn't just number one and number two. I'm worrying about soon my girls are going to start menstruating. And that's a longer process.
Right.
We take longer in the bathroom when we're menstruating. Right? It's just, and so to not have a facility to manage a period, and I'm not at all implying that these families would manage a period as we're accustomed to managing it here in the United States, but you still need a private place to clean up.
Yeah.
Right.
And that private place cannot be in your single room home, right?
Where you share
no
dinner
privacy.
and with a table and when you're next to your brothers. And
exactly. And that's not even to, touch on, you know, instances that can happen within families even. So I'm just like, I'm an empath, and I'm picturing this memory for you, Shannon, and I'm feeling all of that emotion for Dad, for his daughters, and I'm feeling it for Kamala, and I hope I'm saying her name right. I don't actually know how to say her name. And I'm thinking how amazing that women and men can come together to break down barriers for women, especially for the next generations, so that they can become empowered, so that they can reach their potential. And, you know, I just can never stop thinking about who's that person, who's that genius out there that's going to rid the world of cancer, the person who's going to help solve the climate crisis. And what if that person is not able to because they don't have access to education, because they don't have access to sanitation? They die, there's so many factors. They die prematurely because they get sick from cholera or something.
Or they have to drop out of school.
Because
they can't go to school because there's not a proper toilet and there's no way to manage their period. So they just have to stay home and sit on a mat and like just, give
up that opportunity.
Give out the opportunity. And it's just this generation after generation after generation. And that's why this is so, so important. And, when Darren and I went to Africa, we were able to meet with a gentleman who, his father is known as the Sanitation Soldier of India, Kumar. And they're doing a specific study about this in India. And so we're looking forward to hearing like the reports on that. And that's one of the things that he's talking about for the second generation of his father's company that he's now taken over. This is one of the emphases that they're going to focus on, because they're seeing how powerful that is. And it's half the population.
Yeah.
And we're all here on the planet because someone had a period. And so we shouldn't be ashamed of it. And we shouldn't be like, that it's this weird, and
I love that.
Yeah.
That needs to be.
I know. We need a sticker for that.
Right,
I need a sticker for that for my water bottle. We're all here because someone had a period.
I love that.
I love that too, Suzanne.
And then exclamation mark.
Right. Or with a really large period.
Yeah.
Yes. No, but that will be amazing to see. It will be amazing to see, the improvements in sanitation, because while they're slow, they are happening.
Yeah.
And their impact is great. Person by person, family by family, community by community.
Right.
Every toilet makes such a huge difference.
And it's all about education. And that's what ZuLoo's whole focus on, is just getting the word out. Because the more that people know, the more that it's going to happen. Because, just a handful of months ago, I was completely oblivious to this issue. I mean, I knew people didn't have toilets, but I didn't know how many people, 1 out of every 4.
Now you're on the team.
Yeah.
Now you're on the team.
And I'm just
She's amazing. She's amazing. I mean, if you get on a plane with her, you hear her. So, sanitation, ZuLoo, la la la, I mean.
Thanks, Suzanne.
I know.
See, I have
amazing.
a captive audience, but,
No, but you make it
They're on a plane in the seatbelt. Let me tell you something.
You get the stewards come over and give you their mics.
But honestly, it's worked out well so far. We've made some amazing contacts.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and Suzanne, I love that you bring up that it's how rapidly your mind becomes aware of the issue, right? And sanitation's one where it just kind of with everybody I've spoken to, it lights a fire that becomes a blaze. You learn some statistics. 1 in 4 people lack access to sanitation. how many billion people of the 7 or 11 billion people on the planet literally can't access any kind of sanitation service? How many children die? And you go and it just becomes
and how many diseases are in 1 gram of feces?
Yeah.
50, and this is the thing is we have a solution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we know how to fix it. It's not like this, it's not like trying to get to Mars.
Mystery.
And it's not like this, really difficult, we know how to fix it. And the more people that can understand this, the more that we can really make a difference. And there's amazing, powerful women, successful women, in the entertainment industry, that I want to reach out to. And, just these people this woman that you're talking about, just really successful women. I know that they have the heart for it.
Yeah.
And we just need to reach those people. And together we can honestly help to just solve this problem. I mean,
yes,
it may take several generations, but
but it's foreseeable, right?
It is.
This is a plausible future where we see the end of the sanitation crisis. And while that might put ZuLoo out of jobs and we'd feel sad about that, we'd feel happy at the same time.
Yeah.
We'd feel happy about that. This is also a formal invitation to Angelina Jolie, who's an amazing humanitarian. Come be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Angelina, we look forward to seeing you.
And Taylor Swift.
And Taylor, you're also welcome on the Poodcast. So thankful to those women. So thankful to the women who individually impact our lives. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the impact that you've had in my life, the impact that you have in the lives of all the people that surround you. And I think we may not see that on a day-to-day basis, but I'm here to say that it's seen and appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you. You're very inspiring. And I'm just looking forward to changing this one period at a time.
One period at a time.
right.
One toilet at a time. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a great experience. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I know you get a first row seat to all the new things. Darren, that comes to you before anybody else. Jan, what do you think about this? Oh, love it. Thank you both. Happy International Women's Day 2023. And to our ZuLoo listeners and viewers, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making an impact. You matter. If you liked this episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast, hit subscribe, hit share, and tell your friends and family and strangers who follow you on social media that we're out here. We're making a difference.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Poodcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@zuloo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.